Are we... Are we on? Oh no. Terrible feedback. Behold the Mr. Ons. Gone. Are we live? We're live. There's nobody here though. Well, while nobody's here, I'm going to enjoy a pepperami. And watch me eat online. Hey, the excitement continues. It's Saturday morning. I've just woke up. Give me a break. This feels a bit weird. Good morning, or good evening, I guess it is for you, Jordan. I did think to myself, like, on a Saturday morning, it did sort of dawn on me, it was like, oh, Jordan will be about, because he's in Australia. But then again, it's Saturday morning, everybody should be about, because we're not allowed to go out, are we? I have no idea what I'm doing this morning. So, 9 p.m. Okay. Oh, yes, because we've just had daylight savings time. I know this might sound like a really dumb question, but do you have daylight savings in Australia? In other words, like, do your clocks go forward and backwards? Like, I know some countries don't have it. And it's just a random... I'd just be curious and interested to know whether or not... Alright, fair enough then. Like I say, I know it sounds like a dumb question, because I imagine most countries do, but I do know some countries don't. I know some countries, just purely through work, like, some countries don't even issue birth and death certificates unless you're born in a hospital. Like, how weird is that? Like, if you're not born in a hospital, you effectively just don't exist. Ah, you're right, Paul. Up at 6. I headed to Asda early so I could have an entire weekend to myself. We've just come back from Asda. My wife is incredibly disappointed because we've been unable to find a pumpkin. And she couldn't... We didn't celebrate... Well, we don't celebrate Halloween. But we didn't enjoy Halloween last year because she was in hospital, unfortunately. And so we sort of skipped a year, and she was really looking forward to this year. And one of the things that we've always done while we've been together is we've always carved pumpkins. And can't find pumpkins for hide nor hair. The great pumpkin shortage of 2020. Truth be told, I think we just left it too late. But at the end of the day, sorry, bear with me. I'm just doing this to save battery on my camera. So I'm messing around. But yeah, how unfortunate is that? No pumpkin. So I got a pepperami instead. Yummy. Although in Australia it will get dark around 8 p.m. now. For us, it gets dark around 5 p.m. We are in the twilight. We get about... Right now, we get what, like... About 8 hours of daytime. Or daylight. And even then, it's the winter, so it's bleak and miserable. I guess, like, one of the advantages of working from home during this pandemic is the fact that I can at least, like, go outside whenever I really feel like it, you know, for 5 minutes or whatever it is, to experience what sunshine or daylight looks like, other than outside of a window. Because, like, if I had to go to work, generally speaking, by the time I would get to the office... and by the time I'd leave the office, I would have just missed daytime. So, get there in the dark, leave in the dark. The joys. See, I would have totally picked up a huge pumpkin. Like, a giant, massive pumpkin is cool. Like, I'm not intending to rag on anybody for what they choose to carve over Halloween, but I was a kid in the 80s in the UK. Pumpkins weren't a thing. It was turnips. Turnips were the carved vegetable. But I guess pumpkins are easier to carve because turnips are just steel balls. And it's American, and really Halloween is definitely more an American celebration than it is over in the UK. Though we have begun to really embrace Halloween, haven't we, as the gimmick that it is. Like, you can go into Asda now, and it's not just like little kids' costumes. It's buy this plastic skeleton, or buy this giant mannequin that laughs in a cackly way, or do this or do that. Like, Halloween has gone from just being trick or treat to this really important event. What have you been reading lately? Sorry, been on a DC kick lately, playing Arkham City as we speak. Jordan, you won't have seen it. I did a live stream on Thursday night, and just while we're talking about Arkham, picked up these two bad boys on Thursday. Just while you're talking about Batman Arkham. So this is the Arkham Asylum Batman, and this is the Arkham Asylum Joker. That my camera won't do a very good job of zooming in on these guys, but everything's falling. But that Joker head sculpt is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I really, really love it. So I picked them up. I also picked up the McFarlane Superman as well. He's over there, but that's not Arkham or anything like that. And also, here's a weird thing though, and I haven't quite figured out why this is the case, but it's the Batman Arkham. It's the Batman Arkham version. And he comes with his accessories. So he comes with a Batarang. That's fair enough. But the other accessories that he comes with, one is this, which is the glue grenade from Arkham Origins. Or alternatively, if you want to be pedantic about it, you could say it's the freeze grenades, but they're from Arkham City. And he also comes with the line launcher, which again is Arkham Origins. So I don't understand why his accessories are Arkham Origin, because that's definitely the glue grenade. But he's Arkham City. Like, because it's not as if that's the line launcher from Arkham Asylum. Just a weird observation that I made. Also got that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But what have I been reading? I think I just have to get this out of the way right now. 3 Jokers wrapped up this week. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mentioned this on Thursday, so I won't necessarily repeat myself too much. But while I appreciate the fact that as it stands at the moment, Jeff Johns may be considered problematic because he said something bad to somebody, man, that series, 3 Jokers, is absolutely phenomenal. Like, so good. Compared to... Now, I need to preface this. I really enjoy James Tynion, who's writing the current Batman story at the moment. But you compare that to what's currently being written, and it's night and day. Plus, it had Jason Fabok on art, and Jason Fabok draws Batman the way I imagine Batman looking. He's absolutely phenomenal. But 3 Jokers is really, really good. It is a pseudo sequel and love letter to The Killing Joke. I think that's fair to say. Just kind of a bit the way like Jeff Johns' last work, which was Doomsday Clock, was a pseudo sequel to Watchmen. This is kind of a sequel to The Killing Joke, but kind of like a sequel to The Killing Joke wherein many years have passed. But absolutely fantastic. Really, really strong story. A detective story, which I really, really liked. Very, very solid. Incidentally, it's just wrapped up this week. Trade comes out on the 17th of November, which is my birthday. So as soon as Grace said, people have been asking you, what do you want for your birthday? I was like, just buy me the Three Jokers in trade paperback. So I've been reading that. We watched The Crow yesterday for Devil's Night, and tonight we're doing Nightmare Before Christmas and the original Halloween. So I've never seen The Crow. It was just one of those things where it's just totally passed me by. Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, is that a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie? I don't know. I've always thought that the most ideal time to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas is literally, I don't know, work out when Christmas Day is, work out when Halloween is, and find out what the middle point is. What is the middle date between those? Then that's where you watch it. Halloween, we watched that at the start of the month, the first one. It's the first time I've ever seen Halloween. I am not a fan of horror movies. Like, people who love horror movies. They love to be terrified. That's not me. I don't like to be terrified. I was washing the dishes this morning, and my wife came up behind me and jabbed us in the sides, and I jumped. I'm not a fan of horror movies. And for many years, I always had this thing where it was like, right, because Grace does like horror movies to a certain extent, and I said, we will watch a horror movie on Halloween as sort of a tradition. Like, that's the one time that I'll tolerate, I say tolerate, as if, like, I'm the boss in this house. But I'll put up a horror movie, put up with a horror movie on Halloween, as long as it's not weird torture porn in the style of, like, the Saw movies or anything like that. And so we used to do that. But because, as I say, we've missed out on a couple of Halloweens for one reason or another, I said, right, okay, well, let's just watch them. But we'll watch, like, some of the classic slasher movies, because they're not really horrors. Within the context of today's sentiment, Like, we've watched Halloween 1, Halloween 2. We've watched the first two. We watched the latest Halloween, the one where only the first Halloween is canon, because the Halloween timeline is a complete mess. I quite enjoyed the first Halloween. The audio on it is terrible. The audio mixing is terrible. I mean, granted, okay, it's a very old movie, but I was really struggling to listen to what little dialogue there was. But overall, like, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Yeah, put a bell on your wife. See how long that lasts before you get a slap round the chops. Are you a fan of Tom Taylor's Deceased? Are people not fans of Tom Taylor's Deceased? I love Deceased. Honestly, some of the best work that DC is putting out at the moment is the Black Label stuff, which I guess Deceased doesn't really fall under Black Label. It's its own thing. But the stuff that DC are doing outside of the mainline continuity, like Three Jokers is technically canon, it's technically not canon. It is and it isn't. Like, it kind of exists in that weird grey area of just like, you just decide. It's a bit like Doomsday Clock. Though the Kents are back, so Doomsday Clock must have happened. Spoiler alert, by the way, for Doomsday Clock. So, it's kind of one of those, like, weird things. But stuff like Deceased, stuff like The White Knight, stuff like what they're doing with Black Label, Three Jokers, and stuff like that. I mean, you can't not knock the quality that's coming out. I've not read it yet, but I hear Tom King's Rorschach #1 was really, really good. So again, it's kind of one of those things where when you give creators a bit of freedom to do what they want to do, it seems like they're being able to churn out some really, really solid work, as opposed to just, it's got to be the next issue of Batman or whatever it is. With the original, I just wait patiently for the totally girl to die. Yes, I think I know which one you're talking about. Like I say, I've only seen it once, and it was right back at the beginning of the month, and it's fairly okay. Like, so is Michael Myers, like, because I haven't watched the rest of the movies and stuff like that, but like, it seems to suggest as the movies go on that Michael Myers is somehow like some kind of demon. Like, he's not actually human. But then when you watch the latest Halloween, he's just an old man, you know. But even then, at the end of the latest Halloween, when, again, spoilers if you haven't seen it, when they trap him in the fire and the house blows up and stuff, just before the house blows up, you get a shot of the stairs where he was standing on, and he's not there. Like, so, I don't know. Is he like the world's greatest escape artist? Is Michael Myers just that good? I have no idea. I love Halloween 1, 2, and 4 and the 2019 version. So I think it was the 2019 version that I've watched. Yeah, like, I don't know. I thought the dad didn't need to die. I thought that was a bit unfair. I've not seen Halloween 4. I know Halloween 3 doesn't have Michael Myers in, does it? I don't know. But I've heard Halloween 3 is good. I've heard people say they like Halloween 3, but it doesn't have Michael Myers, so. Freddy vs. Jason is silly, but I love it. My wife hated it, but she hated The Cabin in the Woods. Never seen either of them. As I mentioned, like, not a massive horror fan, and I'll hold me hand up here. I have never seen a Freddy movie in my life, including the one with Mr. Peter Spellos in. Which one was that? Was it part 5, part 6, maybe? Maybe I should watch it. I don't know. Like, are the Freddy movies worth it? As I say, for me, when it comes to horror movies, as long as they are not gore fests like Saw and stuff like that, where it's just barbarity for the sake of it, then I'm totally down with it. Early for a live chat. I don't know. Generally speaking, Saturday mornings I quite like just getting on here when I can. But yes, why not? Get it up. Get it up? I beg your pardon? On a Saturday morning, get it up, lad. Get it up. No, get up early on a Saturday morning, do what you need to do, and then, as Paul said before, the day is yours, or the weekend is, anyway. I love John Kent's Superman design for the deceased Dead Planet. Yeah, really do, as well. Like, Tom Taylor is one of those writers where I don't know why. I don't know what it is. But Tom Taylor's been working for DC now. I was about to say working for deceased. Working for DC for years now. Like, it must be going on, like, what, 6 or 7 years? Because he was writing Injustice, like when the first Injustice game came out. And those comics, those Injustice comics, had no right to be as good as they were. Like, from issue 1, when you found out what the Joker had done to Superman, you were like, right, okay, I'm hooked on this now. Then he gets Earth 2, and he makes Earth 2 a really, really good comic, because it wasn't beforehand. But he's always been on the outskirts. They've never let Tom Taylor loose with, like, a mainline continuity character. And the worst part about it is, if you read Deceased, or you read Injustice, he can write an amazing Green Arrow. he can write an amazing Black Canary. So there's a Green Arrow Black Canary book just waiting in the wings. He can write an amazing Superman, but instead they give it to Brian Michael Bendis and he runs it into the ground. He can write the Super Sons. He can, like, the guy just knows these characters. He's writing at the moment Injustice Zero Year. And I mentioned this on Thursday, I think, and no, I didn't. I put this in a tweet to him a couple of days ago. I said, look, you know, because he reintroduced the Justice Society into Injustice Year Zero. And in that, Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, is gay. Okay? Now, originally Alan Scott was heterosexual, and when they did Earth 2 at the beginning of the New 52, they made the character gay. And it caused a little bit of outcry because this was a Golden Age character. And this was a Golden Age character who had a lineage. He had Jade, his daughter, and he had what's his son's name? I can't remember his son's name. But he had kids, okay? So, I mean, that doesn't stop, you know, people... I've got to be careful what I say here. People who are gay can have children, right? But I think a lot of the outcry was just like, you're making the comics woke, whatever it was. And the issue that I had with it was that they didn't do anything with it. Like, he was gay, but his sexuality, like most characters, doesn't really become a major important thing within the story itself. So what was the point? You were essentially just trying to earn brownie points, but you weren't actually making a statement or anything like that. So it was kind of one of those things where it came and went and nobody really cared at the end of the day. So he's reintroduced the JSA in Injustice Zero Year. And in that, Alan Scott, who is not the Earth 2 version, is very much the classic Golden Age Alan Scott. He's gay in that. And in issue 7, there is a conversation between Jay's partner, husband, I'm not sure like what it is, and Superman. And I swear to God, I read that and I was like, yes, perfect. Like, I believe this relationship. And now I am convinced. And not only that, but I really hope they get a happy ending, like, because it's not going well for the JSA in that book. I can't even remember what the whole point of that question was. Oh yeah, so Tom Taylor is an incredible writer. I just wish they would give Tom Taylor the reins to something mainstream, because I want to see what he could do, because everything that guy has touched has turned out to be good, if not amazing. And generally, it's amazing. I want a statue of that. Oh no, I've been talking so long, I don't know what statue of what. Morning, Shannon. He just moves very quick. What? Oh, me. Oh, yes. Have a good weekend, mate. Yeah, you too, Paul. Have a good one, mate. Whatever happened to the Earth 1 books? We've just gotten Earth 1 Green Lantern Volume 2, and I haven't read it yet, because who cares about the Earth 1 books anymore? Yeah. Rumor has it, well, actually, it's not rumor, I think it's fact. There is another Jeff Johns Earth 1 Batman book in the works, and I think there's one more Wonder Woman book coming out as well, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It was a failed initiative because they just like the All-Star books, the moment things didn't seem to go their way, they just can it, because that just seems to be the mentality that was going on at the time. And rather than just cancelling it outright, they just... I don't know. Like, I think now with Black Label, like, they're finally committed to something, because Black Label is doing really, really good numbers for them. I know it's impossible to be able to measure DC's success now because they're no longer part of Diamond. Pardon me. But apparently, if what we're being led to believe is true, like, Three Jokers shipped like 300,000 copies, which is insane to think about. And, you know, that's good for comic books now. Obviously, you know, Dreamwave's Transformers sold over 1 million copies, but that's neither here nor there. People want to talk about IDW being the better series. Dreamwave shipped over 1 million. They shipped over 1 million Armada comics. At one point in history, Armada, Transformers Armada, was the best-selling comic book in the world. Just let that sink in for a little bit. Transformers Armada. And it was shit until Furman got his hands on it. What a weird world we live in. On a side note, good news, my Super Megatron Smokescreen and Snapdragon are on their way. Yay! I didn't bother with Super Megatron, only on the basis of the fact that, like, I have absolutely zero... I have zero interest in the character himself. Having said that, I think the toy looks excellent. It looks really, really good. Smokescreen is really good, and Snapdragon, I mean, just for that jet mode alone, the jet mode is fantastic. I've got the collected edition of Armada comics. Yeah, I've got all the trades. It was all of the Armada comics. It was the Energon comics that they never traded, was it? Yeah, I was Transformers, the Dreamwave Transformers comic books. That's what got me into reading comics. Everybody has to start somewhere, right? So yeah, like I say, not a great deal going on this week. It's fairly quiet. I just thought, like I say, I would pop on for a little bit and do a little bit of a live stream and see how everybody was this fine Saturday morning. But aside from that, it's fairly quiet. Like, there's not even a great deal of news going on in the world at the moment, is there? Like, did people see that, what was I going to say? That In Demand have been, like, trying to get Hasbro to realize that, like, making Thrust limited to one store in America is a really bad idea. Let's keep our fingers crossed that Nick and the team can actually do something with that. Lockdown. Sad. Lockdown crying emoji. Well, we are all locked down, yeah. Or are you talking about Lockdown the Transformer? I don't know. Like, Drift. No, that wasn't Drift, man. What was Drift's Decepticon name? I can't remember. It wasn't Lockdown. But yeah, so, like I say, fairly quiet. Just chilling out. Not really doing a whole lot. You mentioned Thrust on Thursday. Why is it? Why is it that YouTube tries to block some comments? Is it the word thrust that it doesn't like? Yeah, I did mention Thrust on Thursday, but just in case people are watching who perhaps didn't see it. But yeah, fingers crossed we get some movement on that. It's literally the most important thing that's going on in Transformers at the moment. Aside from that, like, there isn't a real great amount of stuff going on, is there? It's just all fairly quiet and things are just ticking over. Yeah, I think the store exclusive stuff has put an awful lot of people off. I think Hasbro have just tried to get too much quantity out, too much stock out in too short a period of time. And I wonder if this is as a result of the Netflix shows, because, you know, they need to coincide their current line with the Netflix shows. And I wonder if maybe the Netflix shows are like ahead of schedule or whatever it may be. And so Hasbro's just like, right, we just got to get this stuff out. Like, let's just get it out there. And because I think, as I said on Thursday, or maybe it was even last week, like, why you would make a brand new character, and a main character, quote unquote, and something more than just an active repaint, because he's obviously a remold, or a retooling, I guess. Why you would make them a store exclusive, it baffles my mind. It really, really does. But yeah, so yeah, there we go. Like I say, not much to report on today. I just thought I would pop on for half an hour, because now I have to go and do, like, housework. Like, actual proper housework. Like, this is what an adult does. It sucks. I need to hire somebody to do the crap jobs. But I have to go be a responsible adult. As my wife always says. So, right. Well, listen, I know it's been a short one. Like I say, only half an hour. But thank you all so very much for popping in and saying hello. I hope you all have a good weekend. Enjoy your Halloweens. Enjoy whatever horror-filled festivities you may be getting up to. And I will see you all very soon. I'm going to try and keep these going a little bit on a Saturday morning, and maybe try and fit one in during the week. I don't know. I quite enjoy them. It's nice interacting with people. Thanks very much. So, thank you all so very much, and I will see you all later. Take care. Bye-bye.